Hey, you guys. Happy Resurrection Day. Um, every day on Easter or Resurrection Day, I should say, it feels like I get a new revelation. I think that if us believers, if we just took the time to reflect, and I'm sure many of you do on Resurrection Day, the Lord will bless you with a new revelation of what He's done for us on the cross. And today, I just was remembering, speaking about the spirit of fear that came upon me, and how, as a babe, it was the Holy Spirit that stood up in me, and that that made me look at the spirit of fear in its face, and not tremble, not buckle, and it wasn't me, because my flesh was going haywire, but the spirit in me, the same resurrection power that's in each and every one of you believers, stood tall in me, and I never realized the magnitude of it until later. I just didn't. And when the preacher was preaching today, and I keep this short, he talked about how they whipped Jesus, and how he went from prison to the judgment hall, but yet and led like a sheep to the slaughter, and but yet he said not a mumbling word. The pastor talked about how every time he get an ache and a pain, he running down to the VA. And the things that Jesus went through should have put every one of us in ICU at minimum. And how we wouldn't have been able to take it. That's how we know that Jesus was 100% man, 100% God, and perfect. No one can bear that. And no one killed him. He gave up his spirit. The Romans didn't kill him. The Jews didn't kill him. None of them killed him. He gave up his spirit for us. So it just reminds me that we have the same power in us, given to us by the Holy Spirit once we believe. And we've been given the victory because of him and what he did for us on the cross. And all we have to do is believe it. I woke up this morning. When he said that, he said he was afflicted, and he was oppressed, but yet not he opened his mouth. I realized that was in Isaiah 53. So I just took a quick second to look it up. Today, when I was looking at, there's a piece of wood that's on the bench of the missionary bench, and it has a cross, kind of like a sword. And when I looked at it, it reminded me of the sword that I felt like an angel. I have it straight down my carpal tunnel. I don't, maybe I have to take an ink. And I felt like it was given to me in a dream by an angel, two angels, as if I were wrestling with this angel. I've spoken about it maybe a couple times, but when I saw it in the wood, someone had made the top cross part with the ink by accident. I'm sure nobody's marking up the bench or the little wall thing, partition thing, half partition wall. And remind me of how I've been waking up the last two nights with pain and tenderness and inflammation in the same wrist. And I've never had any type of pain. So I'm going to just trust and believe that God, or whatever you want to call it, carpal tunnel, I rebuke it. Because he was bruised for our he was wounded for our transgressions, bruised for our iniquities. The transgression of our peace was upon him, and with his stripes we are healed. That's what the word says. If I got to tape it on my arm until it gets better, that's what I'm going to believe. Just little things, you guys. He is no infirmity that he was not touched with. Nothing. Mental, physical. Any area that he was not afflicted with. So that was just, I think it was meant for me to see it this day. It had, that dream or vision, whatever it was, took place over 12 years ago. And it made me, at the time, it made me look up how Jacob wrestled with the angel of the Lord, or the Lord. They said the angel of the Lord, but the Lord. And he said, I will not let you go until you bless me. And that was kind of the mentality and determined. That's how determined I was at that time. I was really seeking the Lord. And felt like I was wrestling with an angel in that dream. And it left a mark on my arm, you guys. Maybe I can fill it in with a thing and take a picture of it and use that as the thumbnail. Just, I'm only seeing one other brother have an experience quite like it and share it. I'm fully convinced, and I'm totally not in fear. I do have a fearlessness that I know only comes from the Holy Spirit to face whatever, because I know the character of God. I just know the character of God. So I may seem nonchalant about some things, but it's just the fact that I know what I read in his word, and I believe that God is the word. Jesus is the word. So whatever he said in his word about his character and what he can do and what he overcame and what he gave us victory for, I believe it. That's it. It's final. I know I spoke about it a little bit in the last video. And you gotta know the character of God and know what he did for you and know what Jesus Christ did for you on the cross. I heard somebody say, God don't want no punk Christians. He want bold Christians. You got to know. Let me read this thing. It says, what it says. He was taken from prison and from judgment. And who shall declare his generation? For he was cut out of who shall declare it? For he was cut out of the land of the living, for the transgression of my people. He was stricken. This is Isaiah 53. Who shall declare it? I hope it's you, especially in this last hour. Who shall declare it? Every one of us should be declaring it. Every one of us is a missionary once we come to Christ. Every one of us need to declare who God is, what his character is, what he's able to do. And every one of us is given a testimony in some way or another. For what? So you can tell the world what Jesus did. Because it is him. You just had to walk it out. It was his power for him to get the victory and for him to get the glory in your life. Okay, you guys? Just wanted to share that with y'all. Just, just a reflection. Always. When I think about it. Okay? God bless y'all. Enjoy the time with your family. Happy Resurrection Day. He rose with all power in his hand. Fear not. And have faith in Jesus Christ and what he's done and what he's overcome. The victory belongs to you and me. God bless y'all.